you live ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
7 hours from now, East Carolina and NC State will be kicking off the 2025 season live from Carter Finley Stadium. We have made it to game day, Thursday, August 28th. It has been a long offseason. Lots of talking. It's time to put the ball down and play some football. We've got an exciting hour ahead. We'll have Michael Clark from PackPride. He will visit with us. He'll give us the latest on NC State. Bobby Harward will join us in our final segment to make some Week 1 picks, as we got to pick the ECU game and several other games against the line as well. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Download the IBX Media app where you can hear not only this show, you can hear our pregame show. It'll be from 4 to 6 live from Carter Finley Stadium. Philip Hilken and I will be on the call there, carrying you into the network show with Jim Zoki and Andrew Bays. You can also hear the Logan Zone season debut last night. That is available now through the IBX Media app, along with the Patrick Johnson Show, Talk of the Town, and more. Philip Pilkington behind the glass. Are you ready?
Oh, heck yeah, I'm ready, baby. It's game day. East Carolina and NC State. The season opener is here. We are, would you say, 6 hours away? You and I are 1 hour away from
7 hours away. From
7 hours. 7
Come on,
hours
man.
away.
I
don't
need you
know.
to be in your A game.
Yeah, I know. We're 1 hour away from making our trip there. Not that I'm wishing this hour away by any means. I'm excited, but I am definitely also, pumped up to make the trip and get on to Carter Finley so we can start our pregame show, because we're only 4 hours to the pregame show, baby.
It's wild, man. It's we do all this build up and all the talking off season, and then it just like game day kind of gets here pretty quickly, as weird as that is to say. All right, the comments section, it's already popping off. Lane Smith, commenter number 1, says, let's go. It's freaking game day. He says 33-20 ECU. So Lane is on the Pirates tonight. Pirate 2031 says, let's go. We are ready. We'll be loud and proud tonight in Carter Finley. John Moody says, flags up, heading to Raleigh. And he says, when the Pirates win in this rivalry, you can always look back on one big play. If the Pirates will win tonight, who will cement their legacy? Good question, John. I'm going to say that we saw the running back make a big impact in the bowl game. I think if ECU wins tonight, it's the Caden Hauser legacy game. That's where I'm going to go. Philip, any thoughts on if the Pirates win tonight? Is it Caden? Is it somebody else?
I want to say maybe it's a defensive player. I think it's going to come down to a big play defensively. I think there's going to be a lot of offense in this game, and because of that, it's going to come down to a crucial stop from the East Carolina Pirates, and I think that's going to be the difference. I'm thinking maybe one of our veteran safeties, maybe Jamarly Riddle, maybe a Tegan Wilk. I don't know.
Tegan Wilk?
Yeah.
I think that a Tegan Wilk legacy pick to seal. I mean, we saw Dontavius Nash had the interception, but then he transferred like 2 days later. So
yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't think he's eligible for this opener for Michigan State. He's now at Michigan State. I was surprised they took him. The Pirate Pulse is in the chat. He says plus 14 is crazy to me, to be honest. And he says Parker Jenkins 2 touchdown plus 10,000 odds. That's a lot of money for Parker Jenkins 2 touchdowns.
Well, it was like plus 750 for 1 touchdown for Parker when Chance texted me earlier in the week, and then they took it down, and Chance was disappointed. So I guess now they've got 2 touchdowns for him, and hey, I guess it's on the docket. So why not, right?
I do have to say that I am surprised at the number. I mean, you look at this historically outside of the first year of the Mike Houston era and the Scotty Montgomery firing / David Blackwell interim game, this has been a tightly contested series for the most part in recent years. And maybe there's a shot that it can be close and NC State can pull away late. I don't know, and cover that number. But, full disclosure, I'm picking NC State to win the game by 10. I just don't really see a scenario where either team wins in a rout here, but who knows, man? Vegas is usually on it. They set the number to what they think the public is going to bet, though. That's the most important thing to remember here. They're not necessarily saying NC State's going to win the game by 14 points. They set the number based upon what the money's coming in on. So, I don't know. I am surprised the number's that high. NC State people are surprised the number's that high. It gives ECU more motivation. Do you really need more motivation when you go into a game like this? Probably not, but I am surprised that number has crept up to 14. We'll see how it plays out tonight. Just excited to have something to talk about, a result. Win or lose, we're going to have actual football plays to react to, things to break down, performances to talk about, a narrative. It's just been so long since we had some of that. We've been recounting some of the same points for so long. Cameron says, embarrassing, we are not bringing the band. This has been a big talking point. Philip and I discussed it pre-show. I figured one of you guys would bring it up. Mixed feelings about it. The band is an important part of any college football team spirit. And you're playing a game 80 minutes down the road. I completely understand being disappointed in not bringing the band. I also understand that you want to save what's a limited allotment for a game that a lot of fans want to go to. You want to save that for your fans. And so I can see both sides. My argument to the second point would be ECU fans are going to find a way to get in if they really want to go, whether that means buying from the secondary market or whatnot. I know a lot of my friends have bought tickets from the secondary market. And, having your band there can provide some morale, some support. Now, in reality, they're probably going to be drowned out by the thousands of people around them. But if you win, we won't get a Rajay Harris playing the fight song in front of the band situation like we did in the bowl game. So I can see both sides, Philip.
Yeah, I can. And, one of the things you got to remember, these band members are students. It's still a Thursday night. There's still class tomorrow. And, are there some band members that probably really, really want to go to this game? Yes, there are. Are there some band members that are in band because that's what they enjoy and football is just part of what happens and they don't really care about the opponent? Yes, but I can guarantee you every single ticket that is being taken from the band and then being allotted to some member of the Pirate Club, that Pirate Club member really wants to go. They're probably taking half a day today and possibly all day tomorrow out of their job and using vacation to go to these games. So I think it's probably going to mean more to the people in the seats when you don't take the band than when you do. But also, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I do understand where people are coming from. There is something nostalgia at the high school and the collegiate level about having your band, playing your fight song when you win. But hey, Pirate members, if you're upset about the band not going, that's fine. When we win the game, just you guys sing the fight song and have the team come over and sing it with you. And there just doesn't have to be a background music. We'll just sing it together. It'll be good. I'll scream down from the radio booth and sing it with you.
Who needs to sing the fight song when you're tearing down the goalpost? I mean,
exactly. Just tear it. Yeah. Fight song. You do that crap at home. Come on.
Jamie says just passing to Wake County on 264. Jay says, before the bowl game, I said, watch the line of scrimmage on both sides. I feel the same way tonight. Seth Horton on Facebook says, can you clarify that for the NC State players suspended for the first half, that was an NC State decision or ACC? There has been some confusion on that amongst the NC State media. I don't, Seth, I 100% do not know the answer. I heard originally by an ECU source that this was an NCAA. If you get ejected for fighting, the NCAA suspension is automatic half game. And for the American, they have a conference-wide policy. If you get ejected for fighting, you have to miss the entire next game, which is why ECU offensive tackle backup Jason Tarpey is not eligible to play for the entire game tonight, per my sources. And I was told before the NC State announcement happened that it was an NCAA deal. Fighting leads to a half-game suspension because the ACC, I don't think, has a set policy on that. So they will be missing Brandon Cleveland, their starting nose tackle, for the first half, along with backup lineman Val Erickson. So that is my understanding via ECU sources. And perhaps there was I did read something about a self-imposed penalty. Look, I'm not going to believe for a second that NC State self-imposed their starting nose tackle a half-game suspension. So I don't really buy that going into a game like this. All right.
Coach Doran said he was embarrassed, but he wasn't embarrassed enough to do that, not with his job on the line.
They gave up 326 yards rushing to ECU last year. You think they want their nose tackle not playing the first 2 quarters?
Look, man, if they were playing, Western Carolina, he might say, you know what, you fought, and I'm going to make an example of you. You're suspended. But they ain't playing Western Carolina. Yeah. They ain't playing Elon. Playing East Carolina.
Pirate 2031 says, will we tear the goalpost with a win today? Last time ECU won in Carter Finley, they lowered the goalpost down. I don't think they'll allow that to happen again. Now, could ECU fans overrun security and still walk off of the goalpost? I guess it's possible, but I just don't see that happening. I don't know if it's worthy of happening, to be honest. Like, just win the game and celebrate.
Do we find our inner Tennessee if we do win it and then, bring it all the way home and throw it in the Tar River?
That would be incredibly epic.
So I do want to know, you might have a better answer on this. Where is the goalpost from the Miami game and from the NC State game, both the Carter Finley goal? I feel like they should be in our Hall of Fame area or something. We should have kept them if we're going to tear them down.
I don't know where they ended up. I know there's some stories, some lore out there about where they ended up. Let us know in the comment section if you know.
Or I hope somebody who tore it down has pieces of it in their house.
Yeah, do you cut? I mean, you have to cut it up, right?
Yeah, I would hope.
You can't just roll around with a legit goalpost.
But I hope there's my pray is that there's 8 or 12 Pirate fans that just have pieces of it in their man cave. Yeah, baby, that's the goalpost from when we beat NC State. Those turds.
That would be pretty sick, though, if you just spread it out throughout some man caves across North Carolina. I do feel like I almost want to say I ran into somebody who had a piece of a goalpost. So I'll have to get clarification on that. All right, Pirate 2031 says, Hunter Corbett says, do you think Jason Tarpe would be starting if he was available? Hunter, he was a backup left tackle, I believe, behind Jamarion McCrimmon. Now, he is one of your best backup linemen. So if McCrimmon or Cooper Trevnosky go down, your starting tackles, it's a major concern. I will say that. Just like NC State, if their starting guard goes down with Erickson out in the first half, that's a major concern. So keep an eye on that. You want the offensive tackles for ECU, obviously, in any situation to stay healthy, but definitely in tonight's game with Tarpe unavailable. Matt Linker says Sam Anderson wants us to talk about the Taylor Swift engagement. Sam, we are not doing that at all. Thanks for chiming in, though. Appreciate you. And, man, we are almost there. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get a break in. We'll go ahead and get to Michael Clark. We'll hit the NC State side of this. Michael Clark writes for PackPride. He covers NC State for 24/7 Sports, knows a lot of their personnel. So we'll dive into that, get more into the game on the field matchup on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors on a game day Thursday.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Less than 7 hours till kickoff. ECU-NC State live from Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. Looking forward to that. Let's learn more about the Wolfpack now. We'll visit with Michael Clark from PackPride, one of my favorite guys on the 24/7 Sports Networks. We've shared many conversations over the years. Michael, how's it going, man? You ready for tonight?
And you're mighty kind to say that. Doing great, man. Just finally ready for, the season to start. I think everybody in the media, you get to this point and you're just like, man, is it go time yet? And it's finally here.
No doubt. Finally here. We get to start it, perhaps with some fireworks. East Carolina, NC State. These two teams, Michael, know each other well and certainly just played each other in their most recent outing late December. Just kind of take us through the vibe in Raleigh. Like, what are the what's the pressure like on Dave Doran right now, coming off that loss? How much of a must-win situation does it feel like to kind of get this opener on their home turf?
Oh man, if they lose this opener, it's not going to be good in Raleigh. Just throughout the off season, there's been a lot of angst. The bowl loss was a massive disappointment, and you just got outplayed. And quite frankly, outcoached by ECU down the stretch in that game. So, I think this is, one of the more pressure moments maybe in his tenure at NC State. You never want to say a must-win, but it just feels that way. It feels like NC State's got to do that. The schedule's backloaded. Stephen, if they don't start fast, it could be a really, really tough season.
Michael Clark with us from PackPride, covers NC State, does a great job covering recruiting, knows the personnel a lot. How do you feel about the personnel on this team? And we'll start with the offense. It would seem to be kind of like ECU, the more well-known side of the football. So how do you feel about the offensive personnel, how this thing's shaping up on paper?
Yeah, I definitely think that was considered and is considered the strength going into the season. A lot of guys are back. I'm really high on C.J. Bailey. I think he's not only one of the best young quarterbacks in the ACC, but potentially in the country. He just has all the tools. Really made some strides as the season progressed last year. Was kind of put in a no-win situation as an 18-year-old true freshman who had to play in 9 games, I believe, 9 starts, played in 11 games, and performed admirably. And, with a bad offensive coordinator who was really struggling last year, who they fired in Robert Anai. Now you have Kurt Roper. He has a good rapport with Bailey. Obviously, was his quarterback's coach before being, and it still is, before being promoted. So I think there's optimism there. A lot back skill-wise. Hollywood Smothers, Duke Scott is the backup running back, and a guy ECU fans really need to know was highly recruited in high school. People have been raving about him in the preseason, was one of the stars of the offseason. A receiver, you've got Noah Rogers, Wesley Grimes, Keenan Jackson, Terrell Anderson. But keep an eye on slot Teddy Hoffman, who's probably going to be the backup to Anderson. A lot of buzz on him. Your tight end, you've got Justin Jolie, who's one of the best in the country. Then you move the offensive line. There are some questions there. but you did some nice work in the portal. Ja'Carrius Peaks, the best player up front. I really think the offensive line is going to be the key this year. It didn't play particularly well last year. I've really struggled to get a push in the run game consistently over the past handful of years. So if you're watching one matchup tonight, I would really focus on that. Can NC State's offensive line get a push against against ECU's defensive line? That to me feels like a key matchup.
Kurt Roper taking over with the play calling duties, as you mentioned, he's been there. Is there any idea? I know, look, much like ECU this preseason, y'all have been pretty locked out on how much practice you've been able to see. But any idea on how they may change the offense to? Because last year I would assume McCall, his skill set a little bit different than CJ Bailey. So I would assume you're probably going to see a little bit of a different offense with the personnel and the new play caller.
Yeah, I think that you have to put more on Bailey's plate now. Year 2 in the program, he was named a captain. I think a big complaint, around, from the fan base and just around, the program, the people that you talk to, was probably the pace last year. NC State was very slow offensively, kind of a deliberate approach. That just doesn't really work with what they have. I think you've got to speed it up. That said, early on, I would think that they would go with some safe throws, try to get him in a rhythm. Although he's experienced, I think you have to take a step back and realize he's still 19 years old. So this is a tough tough game one. Ideally, you'd probably like to open against an FCS opponent, but I think those days are long gone, or if they're not, they're coming to an end soon. So I think ECU presents a really good challenge. I think it'll be a good measuring stick to kind of see, if the off-season hype is warranted. And again, I feel really good about CJ Bailey. I think he's going to play very well this year, and I think he's going to emerge as one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC. Certainly has all the tools.
Michael Clark with us from PackPride does a great job covering the Wolfpack along with Corey Smith for the 24/7 Sports Network. And Michael, I did want to mention, the two players suspended for the first half, Val Erickson and also Brandon Cleveland. Cleveland on paper would seem to be the bigger loss, and ECU will be without Jason Tarpe, backup offensive tackle, for the whole game per American Conference policy. But how big of a losses are those for the first half?
If you were looking at the roster or the depth chart that obviously Dave Dorn didn't put out this week for whatever reason, Cleveland would have been the starter at nose. Behind that, Stephen, there's just not there's a lot of unknown. You've got ODU transfer / Colorado transfer, Chaz Wallace, who actually redshirted last year. You don't typically see that with a 4th or 5th year guy. I guess, does he get the start at nose, or is it Josiah Victor, who's a true freshman that they love and believe he's a future star? It's probably a rotation between those two. Cleveland being out for the first half, it is a huge concern. You just don't have a lot. It's not really a known commodity behind him. So again, you talk about matchups to watch. Keep an eye on NC State, the middle of their defense, because the linebacker play wasn't good last year. You're going back with the same guys. How does the defensive line hold up with no Davin Vann, who exhausted his eligibility and was clearly the best defensive lineman last year, and then no Cleveland in the first half? That's a big question. I don't know what to expect from Wallace, considering he didn't really play last year, and Josiah Victor was playing high school football, so I have no clue. I think anybody does. You kind of just hope you have your fingers crossed and hope that maybe they can just manage until he can get back. But even when he returns, Stephen, you've got to think, you've got to have some type of rotation there. You can't ask a 300-pound nose tackle to play 70, 80 snaps. So if there's a silver lining, maybe it's these guys getting some snaps in the first half, but at the same time, it is concerning with an experienced quarterback, and you've got options at running back if you're East Carolina, and then you've got a really dangerous receiving core. So interested to see what it looks like. I think it is a big unknown. As for Erickson, probably, if not the top offensive line reserve, one of them has a lot of value because he can play guard or tackle. So that is also definitely doesn't help. I like a lot of programs around the country. NC State's, struggled to develop offensive line depth, but I think that a big part of that, and I don't know how you feel, is probably the transfer portal and just guys constantly moving. So that's an issue. But again, you just kind of, cross your fingers and hope you can make it through the first 30 minutes unscathed injury-wise.
Michael Clark with us from PackPride. I remember Josiah Victor well. ECU had him on an official visit, too. He kind of was a late bloomer, blew up pretty big, so good get there for NC State. It'll be interesting to see how he looks as a true freshman, likely getting some snaps tonight. All right, defensively, Michael, obviously they bring in DJ Elliott, former Temple defensive coordinator, as the new play caller there in Raleigh, and it feels like it'll be kind of a multi-look defense, and we'll find out for sure tonight. I personally am excited about seeing Josh Aldridge for ECU, his new defense. How is it called? How does it look? And then DJ Elliott, how it looks on the other side. So the start of this game, how do you see it playing out? Because I feel like there will be wrinkles on both sides defensively.
Well, again, I don't know, really what to expect from Elliott other than you look at his past. He's really stressed getting after the quarterback. That was a massive issue for NC State last year. Only had 23 sacks, was towards the bottom of the ACC in pressuring the quarterback. So I think that is an interesting aspect of tonight's game. You've got Trey Thomas, a Temple transfer at edge, Ken Sloan, a Utah State transfer. You look at guys like that, and you say, well, wow, they've really got to get after the quarterback, because if they don't, who will? Sebastian Harris, a transfer from Wyoming, has really made some noise at defensive end in fall camp. He is probably, maybe the guy that I'm watching closest just because of all the buzz. I mean, I think you could make an argument that if he wasn't NC State's best player in fall camp on the defensive side of the ball, he was certainly one of them. So I think he's exceeded expectations, and fortunately, at least from what everything that's been said, and you know how that goes in preseason, a lot of these transfers, I think, have exceeded expectations, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and you're counting on them. And I'm sure East Carolina is in the same situation where you have to fill holes via the portal, and everything moves so quick. How much do you really know about these guys? Again, I talk about crossing your fingers, and that's kind of where you are when it comes to transfer portal recruiting.
Last thing for Michael here, we'll get him out of here. The spread is up to 14 points in favor of NC State. I think that surprised a lot of people who at least know this rivalry when both teams are on pretty solid footing as far as coaching and roster standpoint. Usually we get a competitive game. Are you surprised the line is that high? I mean, definitely I can see a scenario where State wins by a couple scores, but how do you see tonight playing out? Week one, who really knows, Michael, but your gut feeling on just kind of how the game may play out in a prediction.
Personally, I think the game's much closer. I think if you told me tomorrow that it went either way, I don't necessarily know. I think NC State wins the game, but I wouldn't be shocked if you told me tomorrow it went the other way. Maybe NC State 34-28, somewhere like that. Maybe a late turnover. You've got to really improve on last year when it comes to offense. That's going to be the big thing for NC State. Didn't play well offensively in the bowl game. Again, all eyes on C.J. Bailey, all eyes on Kurt Roper. Can this offense carry the team? Because in the past, the defense has been, really the thing it's leaned on. Don't think that'll be the case this year. Just don't think it will. I think they've got to score. They've got to score early, often, and they can't turn the ball over. So I'll go 34-28 NC State.
He's Michael Clark from PackPride. Michael, we'll see you in Raleigh tonight, man. Looking forward to the game, and it's finally here, so we'll soak it in while it lasts.
Appreciate you having me. We finally made it after a long off season. Just excited that all around the country games are getting ready to kick off.
No doubt. Michael Clark, one of the best with 24/7 Sports. Appreciate his time on the program. All right, we'll get a break in. We will come back. We've got to pick the game ourselves. We've got to make our Week 1 college football picks. We'll do that on the other side. Bobby Harvard scheduled to join us. He'll make his picks as well. This is Hoist the Colors on the Game Day.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU Athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Hoist the sail!
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Back to Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, game day, Thursday, August 28th, ECU at NC State tonight. Again, our pregame show will be 4 to 6 live from Carter Finley Stadium shortly after we wrap up here. Philip and I will make the drive over to Raleigh to set up for that. All right, comments section is popping. Continue to drop some questions or anything you got there. We've got Philip. We've got Bobby Harward making a rare Thursday appearance on the show. Bobby, are you ready, man?
Dude, I am so pumped. I can't tell you how pumped I am. I woke up with just a different vibe this morning. Excited to get off work, start putting some beverages in my body, and we'll see how it goes from there.
It's a bad day to be a cold beer across the state of North Carolina. I can say that. All right, we do have 8 games to pick, so let's just jump right into it, gentlemen. We'll start with the ECU and NC State. I know I have Boise and South Florida on the list, but let's start ECU and NC State. NC State, when I wrote this down, 13.5-point favorite. ECU just beat them last year. They're a 2-touchdown dog. We'll start with Bobby. Feel free to go as long as you want. Just what do you think? How do you see this game playing out?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I've been going up and down. I know for the longest time I said I feel pretty good about what tonight looks like for the Pirates, and I like their chances, especially, with the new coordinators on both sides of the ball for NC State. And then this morning, as I was going on my run and thinking about the game, I felt even better. I was like, man, I would not be surprised if the Pirates win handily. But honestly, as the day has gone on, I'm feeling less and less optimistic. A few things I want to see. Number one, how aggressive is the ECU offense from the jump? I think knowing JDB, his background with Lane Kiffin, I'm anticipating quite an aggressive style and approach these first few series to try to get on the scoreboard. Excited to see how they use Jacquez Petaway and where they utilize his speed and shiftiness. And then defensively, excited to see, that first group of D linemen is pretty senior heavy and experienced in playing in the purple and gold, but that you guys know how much they rotate that defensive line group. So there's going to be a lot of young guys in there that maybe aren't as experienced. So, and then the other thing I'm looking for is, what does the edge pressure look like? Have we continued to progress there? And then lastly, Coach Aldridge and his scheme, and how different does it look from Blake Harrell? Is it kind of the exact same thing? Is he a little bit more aggressive? What do we see there? But that's a long-winded answer for saying right now I got the Pirates covering, but I think if we were to pick a win-loss, like a money line, I'm going the Wolfpack.
I've got NC State, my official prediction, 38-28, so I have ECU covering as well. I think it's a tight game, and State gets a late score to make it a two-score game. But, look, last year, I wrote this in my predictions. On the Hoist the Colors staff, I was the only person to pick NC State in the bowl game, and ECU won. Today, I am once again the only person to pick NC State to win. So, this could be a good omen for the Pirates. It turns out pretty well usually when I pick against them. So I'm going NC State, but I am going ECU to cover the points. I just think it's too many points. Like, I could see a scenario State wins by that much, but you give me that many points in a rivalry game with a pretty confident team in ECU and a team with pressure opposing them, I'm going to take the points all day, even if this wasn't ECU. Philip.
I'm with you guys. Actually, it's funny. I think you and I talked about this earlier in the week that we did have the same final score prediction of 38-28. I just think East Carolina's offense is going to come out and play a consistent football game. I also see, is it going to be mistake-free? Absolutely not. But I think East Carolina and their maturity, despite maybe not having the most reps in collegiate football games, they just have a lot of high IQ guys and a lot of mature guys. Even their guys that have a lot of reps are still older, right? They're upperclassmen. And I think they're going to find a way to just not make the bonehead mistakes that keep them, that knock them out of the football game, but just the size up front for NC State. And I'm just a little worried about our defense really being able to, I'm not saying they're not going to be able to hold them here and there, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to stop them enough to win the football game. So I'm going to go 38-28 as well.
All right, one thing I did want to ask you guys from a comment, I did want to ask, or I'll address this question real quick as well. Corsair wants to know, who are the edge rushers for ECU? Can they be effective, or do we rely on blitzing to slow down C.J. Bailey? So J.D. Lampley, Raheem Craig will be your starting edge rushers. Also expect to see Julian Davis at outside linebacker, Kendrick DeJour, Josiah Robinson as well. I think the edge rushers are good. Can they get pressure against some pretty good tackles? We'll find out tonight. I do think ECU would like to be able to get pressure with less sending blitzes this year, but we'll see. All right, Travis wants to know, is this a no-lose game for ECU? ECU wins awesome. If ECU loses, Doran may save his job, and NC State remains in mediocre purgatory. Bobby, is this a no-lose situation for ECU, or is there a scenario ECU comes out looking bad?
I don't think so. I think it's a no-lose situation for the Pirates. I mean, kind of as we've seen by how the line is set, nationally, they're kind of expecting a two-score plus game advantage at NC State. So keeping it close is advantageous. I think as a fan base, maybe it'll raises some questions if we go out there and lose like 45-14. I think there's some questions, but still I wouldn't view that as a loss, and definitely not the season is not lost even if that's the case.
All right, let's get into the rest of these picks. We've got 7 more to make before we get Bobby out of here. So, by the way, Bobby and I 4-1 last week. Philip 3-2, so we're off to a good start in our picks against the spread. By the way, Boise at South Florida. This will be the game that is at 5:30 before ECU tonight. Boise is a 5.5-point favorite going to Tampa. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I'm not only taking South Florida to cover, I'm taking South Florida outright. Give me the Bulls. Go American. Bobby.
I'm going to go the Broncos. I'm just not there yet to trust South Florida. I am. I'll be honest. I'm worried about the Broncos traveling across the country and then obviously not having Gianti, but they do have their quarterback returning. So I'm thinking they win. It's excuse me. It's going to be close, but probably like a 7-point game, Broncos.
2011 Boise State opens the season in the state of Georgia, playing the Bulldogs. They win. 2019 they open the season in Tallahassee, they win. Last year they go to Georgia Southern, they win. I have a bad feeling their East Coast luck runs out. Give me the Bulls outright.
South Florida is the pick by me and Philip. All right, Saturday it'll be a 12 noon Eastern kickoff Texas at Ohio State. Number 3 versus number 1. Ohio State in the horseshoe, 1.5-point favorites. Arch Manning getting the start for Texas. Justin Sayin getting the start for Ohio State. I'm just going to go with the home team here. I mean, I don't really know what to expect other than a probably good football game. I mean, it's Texas, Ohio State week 1. I'm not going to overthink it. Give me the Buckeyes playing at home, Ohio State. Bobby.
My only qualm with this game is it being at 12 noon. Granted, you have a tremendous 12 noon game, but it's
a big noon kickoff, baby.
Yeah.
That's right. Dave Portnoy is not allowed in. But regardless, I got the Longhorns. I think Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be coming off a little national championship high. They're also breaking in a new quarterback. Not that Arch has a ton of experience, but he is still experienced enough and much more than their guy. So give me the Longhorns.
In his first college game day, Corso picked Brutus, wore Brutus. He's worn Brutus the most. He will wear Brutus again on Saturday, and the Buckeyes will not let down Coach Corso in his final headgear pick. Give me the Buckeyes.
All right, Alabama is a 13.5-point favorite going to Florida State. We know Alabama's going to be in trouble next year in their opener, but this year's opener, give me the Crimson Tide by at least 28 points here. I think the Mike Norvell era is going to come to just a crashing. I mean, it was a dumpster fire last year. Whatever's worse than that, I think it's going to get even worse this year. Give me the Bama Crimson Tide on the road here. Big. Bobby.
Wow, 28 points. Holy smoke.
It's going to get out of hand quickly.
You have no faith in the Seminoles.
0.
I got the Seminoles covering.
Good luck with that.
I know. I'm hesitant, but Alabama, first game. Again, they're also breaking in a new quarterback. Granted, FSU I think is too, but still, give me the Seminoles to cover.
Florida State, if you want me to pick you, give me a reason to pick you. They haven't given me a reason to pick them since famous Jameis was the quarterback. Roll Tide.
You also had the Castellanos guy talking smack, their quarterback, about Bama in the offseason. I can't remember what exactly he said, but I don't think that's going to play out well. He was at Boston College. They were kind of mid there, and he's a running quarterback. I don't think that's going to work against Bama. Crimson Tide, baby.
Hey, Bobby, interesting strategy. You've gone the road team in every game.
That's never a good thing, but I either have the chance to gain, 3 games on y'all or lose 3 games. So it's going to be really bad or really good.
LSU, he's on Florida State, which is home. So that's a good thing. Because this game isn't Tallahassee.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
But 3 of the first 4, he's on the road. All right, LSU at Clemson. Clemson's a 4.5-point favorite. This is a tough one for me because LSU, we know, is awful in these game ones under Brian Kelly, but Clemson against really good teams has not been very good. And so something's got to give here. Give me the LSU Tigers on the road. I think they at least cover the 4.5, if not win outright. I think LSU is my championship pick here. I think this is a boom or bust season for Brian Kelly. I think it starts with a boom at Clemson. Bob.
Battle of Death Valleys, Battle of the Tigers. Give me the orange ones. I'm going Dabo Swinney, Clemson, get it done, and win by, I'm going to say, 10 to 11 points.
Yeah, I ain't picking Brian Kelly and his family. I can tell you that right now. He's got to prove to me.
When's the last time Clemson beat somebody with a pulse?
I don't know.
When's the last time LSU's won an opening game against a competent opponent?
I mean, you can't
they're
really
going to both lose. It will be a 0-0 tie for 14 overtimes, and they will call the game.
I mean, that's very possible given both these teams' recent histories in these types of games. Mike Houston watched. Will we see Mike Houston get a TV appearance? Any TV time?
He'll probably be one of the guys up in the booth, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll find out. That'll be a fun one on Saturday. All right, Virginia Tech, South Carolina. This is a Sunday game in Atlanta. South Carolina, 7.5-point favorite. I feel basically how I feel about Florida State is how I feel about Virginia Tech and Brent Pry. Give me South Carolina by multiple touchdowns here. I don't think it's close. I think Virginia Tech is a bit of a dumpster fire right now behind the scenes. Gamecocks. Bobby.
I'm with you. Brent Pry is all but done. I think this is going to they're going to start hammering the nail into the coffin after this one. It's going to be ugly. I am curious, though, to see how South Carolina evolves this year with expectations. They haven't had, I felt like, this high of expectations in a long time, so I'm very curious how they come out.
Oh, well, the expectations are going to go through the roof when they win this game by 2 touchdowns, and they're going to be talking about how they're college football playoff bound. That ain't happening, but they do cover.
Notre Dame is at Miami Sunday night. Catholics versus convicts. Not quite that way, but still brings back memories. And Notre Dame is a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Miami. C.J. Carr getting his start for the Fighting Irish. Not really sure what to expect there. We'll let you start this one off, Bobby. You follow Notre Dame. How do you feel about this one?
I'm torn. I feel like Notre Dame's going to win the game. I don't know. I've never been a believer in Miami. And Carson Beck coming in there too. Just a lot of questions. I really like the Shannon Dawson offense though, so that kind of excites me and worries me a little bit. But defensively, Notre Dame is so stout. I think really, and run game wise, I mean they definitely have the best running back combination in college football. Probably the best running back in Jeremiah Love. Question all boils down to how does C.J. Carr perform? Lloyd Carr's grandson, by the way. How does he perform in the first game, not only in college football starting, but also on the road in Miami against a top 10 opponent? So a lot of pressure on him. Ultimately, though, I think they're going to manage the game well for him and rely heavy on the run game. Give me the Irish.
Philip.
Yeah, look, how Carr is going to perform, it's going to be whether or not to hand the ball off to the right or to the left. They've got a bigger and better offensive line than Miami's defensive line. They're going to run it down their throat 3 yards in a cloud of dust. This could be like a very ugly, boring, like 21-3 game, I feel like. Give me the Irish.
Yeah, look, if C.J. Carr was opening in a more hostile venue, I'd be worried. I mean, no disrespect to Miami. They don't exactly have a rocking home field advantage. It's a very front-running fan base. I'm sure they will turn out because it's Notre Dame. But, I don't think they're going to be just making all – it's not like they're opening at Clemson or at South Carolina or at Ohio State, like some of these games. So I think that plays to Notre Dame's favor here, and I think Notre Dame is just a better team despite the questions at quarterback. I'm going to take the Fighting Irish on the road minus the 2.5. All right, final game here. It'll be Monday, college football. Bill Belichick's debut, North Carolina. TCU is the road favorite. Sonny Dykes, 3.5 points. Favored are the Horned Frogs. They're at Chapel Hill. No clue what to expect from this UNC football team. But
wait, sorry, I was looking at something. You did take Notre Dame, right?
I took Notre Dame.
Sure. Okay.
Who wants to go first here? Because I have no clue what I'm going to pick.
I'll go first because I'm going the Horned Frogs.
Okay.
UNC has too many unknowns right now, number one, and I believe TCU has the best recruiting class in the Big 12 for the last definitely 2 years, maybe 3 years straight. I think they're just going to have too much speed on the perimeter, and I think UNC is going to be very conservative offensively, and I don't necessarily know if that's going to work in their favor this week.
There are 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and UNC giving their fans false hope that they're actually going to have a good season in football. You can't give your fans false hope if you lose the first game. They're going to win the first game, and it's going to be a dumpster fire starting next week. I don't know who they play. They're probably playing Campbell or something.
Charlotte.
But, okay, I guess they can't play Campbell. We're playing Campbell. But, yeah, and then they lose to Charlotte. No, they probably won't lose to Charlotte. But their next legit game, they will lose. But they're winning this one.
Sonny Dykes is his teams are typically kind of finesse. North Carolina, if there's one thing Belichick is going to have them, they'll be physical. It's at home. I don't like making this pick, but I'm going to go Tar Heels. I think just having all offseason to prepare favors Bill Belichick. Not that Sonny Dykes can't scheme up things as well offensively, but I'm going to go with the Tar Heels. Don't like this pick. I feels wrong, but I'm going to give you the Tar Heels. And there's your picks. What an exciting weekend ahead of college football. Bobby, closing thoughts. We'll let you go so you can get back to it, man. But I appreciate you joining. Closing thoughts on just the weekend ahead and tonight.
Yeah, I'm just glad college football is back. 5 nights in a row of college football. Can't beat it. I know I'm going to be on the couch every night watching ball games. Glad. Also, I did want to mention, I'm glad there's been no fine that has come across the 94-3 game desk from last week's Kaepernick comment.
Can we quit talking about that, man? So you're going to get me backdoor fine. Can everybody quit bringing that up?
Phillips claims he's already forgotten about it.
Hey, Henry hadn't yelled at me yet. He's going to hear this and be like, why am I supposed to yell at Phillip?
This is true. By the way, we'll see you in studio tomorrow, Bobby.
Yes. Excited to be back tomorrow for the reaction show. Hopefully it's after a Pirate victory. Y'all enjoy the game. Safe travels up there.
Thanks, man.
That would be electric. All right, we'll get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show after this.
Turn your car into cash at Greenville Toyota. Cash in your trade-in today. Then get new Camry just $249 a month, or drive a new RAV4 $319 a month at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Cash in your trade-in at Greenville Toyota. Get a huge offer when you trade. Then save big on a brand new Corolla, just $229 a month. Or get a Tacoma, just $319 a month. Secure your Toyota now at Greenville Toyota.
Like all pirates, Stephen Igo is loyal and bold. He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here. Final few minutes. Again, we'll have the pregame show from 4 to 6. Now, this will not be video stream since we'll be in the NC State press box, but it will be audio stream, 943thegame.com. Also, download the IBX Media app to make sure you hear it. Philip and I will be live from Raleigh. And then also, if you do want to get a question in, we kind of have a script somewhat, but if you want to get a question in, just tweet or text if you got my number, but just please tweet otherwise. And I'll be on the Adam Gold show here in about 6 minutes if you want to hear more of us. So we'll be driving up to Raleigh doing that. Are you ready, Philip, for this pregame show?
Dude. I am. I'm really excited. This will be my first time, I think, as the number one host. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, I'm jacked up, man. I'm excited to see how it plays out. And I think once we get to the stadium, it's just going to be like that little kid feeling, when you see the grass
Yeah.
painted end zones.
It's like when you go to your first MLB game,
There's
and you
nothing
walk
like it.
out. And yeah.
Donnie Run Past Your Patrick has entered the comment section. He says, Caden Hauser is going for 5 touchdowns tonight. Do you think Donnie's watching this game?
I think he is.
He's got to, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think he and Blake got along pretty well from what I understand. I mean, I mean, this place always has a special place that's hard. I mean, he was here for a long time in his multiple tenures. Yeah.
he's got to be pulling for the Pirates tonight.
Yeah, he's probably about to watch a Red Sox game in 10 minutes, and then he's going to flip over to this.
And it's not like Blake fired him.
Yeah.
So I would think so. Corsair is in and says, Igo, you and Philip do a great job and have a great show. So appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Corsair.
You want 2 more hours of it. Tune in at 4 o'clock.
2 more hours. The Pirate Pulse, a.k.a. Chance Scott, he says that he's going to be in Death Valley on Saturday. He is rolling with Clemson -4. So that'll be a fun experience. LSU at Clemson.
He's doing that. He might be going to Darlington Sunday. I'm not sure. He's trying to make a whole weekend out of this.
Yeah, he's going to have a good time. Well, we are out of time for this show. Man, it's hard to believe that game day is already here. We're about 6 hours away from kickoff. Carter Finley Stadium, again, 7 o'clock, ACC Network. We'll see you on the pregame show. That'll again be 4 to 6, 943thegame.com, as well as the IBX Media app. Appreciate all of you for tuning in all offseason. I do want to say before we get out of here, 75% off special on hoistthecolors.net in honor of game day. So check that out. If you're not a VIP member, now is the time to subscribe. We'll see you tonight, this afternoon from Carter Finley, and then tonight for kickoff as well. Everybody enjoy the game day.